give us a good send off to the holiday. Welcome to the Pirates of Drinax. We will be picking up where we left off 2 weeks ago. Is it longer than that, isn't it? I think we took two consecutive weeks off in a row. Last week we had every intention of playing, and Roll20 just completely shit the bed. So nobody could log in. So thanks for that, guys. But anyways, here we are, and we will be picking up. These guys are on. What was the name of his ship? It was. Something interesting. The Invisible Hand. It is Rochando's ship, and so they have determined through a communications, a encrypted communications drum that they partially decrypted on Tech World. They have determined that, and they've now pretty much proven it, that Rochando is a active spy for General Development Company, and he's been feeding GeDeCo information about Drinax, and they've discovered. I mean, he's not the only one. This communications drum has basically been fed information from worlds all across the Trojan Reach, mostly along the Dust Belt, but even other places. And so clearly GeDeCo is keeping an eye on the Trojan Reach, and they're keeping a close eye on the travelers, now, on Drinax. And one of the things that has kind of come out of what little information they were able to decrypt from the communications drum is that for the most part, the pirates are viewed in, not viewed, but they are related to in a somewhat positive light. Well, I mean, as positive as a corporate memo can be. So they jumped aboard the Invisible Hand, which is docked at the floating palace, and they were searching for information when they noted that a ship from where was that from? Marduk. Ship from Marduk docked, and they noted that disembarking from the ship was a group of a trade delegation, and a lot of the stuff for natives from Marduk, especially for trade delegation, is pomp and circumstance, and these particular ones kind of took a religious bent in their garb, and their faces were masked, and they had headdresses on that looked like the tentacles of these sea monsters that are venerated on Marduk. And they could even move the tentacles using puppetry with their tongues that would move the tentacles around and allow them to communicate in some kind of secret language. These 5 individuals evidently were not really from Marduk. They are GeDeCo assassins. They all appear to be identical. In fact,
they wouldn't call them assassins.
Yes, they are. Let's see here. They all look like this young lady right here. They're all clones.
Except for one of them.
Well, one of them
is inside out.
Yeah, one of them has been completely disemboweled. But of the 5, only 4 boarded the ship. One of them took off, leaving the Royal Starports, or the Royal Docks, and you guys would know that, I mean, immediately leaving the Royal Docks, the most common location beyond that is Rochando's Bazaar. And so one of them ran off that direction. The rest of them engaged you. Ting turned one inside out. And one of them caught Captain Beth pretty good in the chest and knocked her to the ground. But we were going to start on Keith Clark's turn. I think we're going to start on Gregor's turn, and that's where we will be picking up. Before we get started, we would like to thank one of the Greenwater friends of the Greenwater Mercantile. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships or sponsorships of any kind. They are just products that we really like. Tonight, we'd like to thank Fable Beard Company. They make wonderful beard products such as oils, balms, butters, beard wash, and conditioner. They have a line of all-natural deodorant, spray-on cologne. They also have a women's line under the FableBeauty.com address. And all of the scent profiles that they have are of different fantasy characters. One of my wife's favorite for body frosting and facial scrub from FableBeauty.com is the Huntress, and it is really quite pleasant. Right now, I am actually wearing the Hero Beard Balm. It smells of a light amber cologne and a light pipe tobacco, and it's got a nice hold to it. It's not overly firm. It's not like pomade or anything like that, but it does keep your beard from just going crazy. If you are a first-time purchaser, they do have a buy one, get one free option. Go to fablebeardco.com, create an account, and you can put 2 oils into your account, and when checking out, you will get that second beard oil for free if you use the code FIRST in all capital letters. We also have a merch store via Zazzle. We've got all manner of good stuff on there, and t-shirts and hoodies and buttons, and there's a Whiskey Rocks glass and a beer stein, and all sorts of good stuff, and that helps us cover a lot of the little nitpicky bills that pop up doing something like this. You got $9.99 here for Roll20, and you've got $5.99 there for Incarnate Pro, and once a year to the tune of, I forget how much it was, but it was personally too damn much. But once a year you got the Filmora, the Wondershare Filmora subscription, and all of these don't seem like much at the time until the end of the month comes and you have to pay for it. And so we have this merch store that kind of helps us make all these ends meet. And if you want to help us out, go get yourself a t-shirt and a rocks glass, and we really appreciate everything you do for us. So let's see here. Pull this up right now.
So what are we wearing?
I think you guys are all in battle dress.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you guys went in.
For one thing, yeah.
Yeah, you guys went in loaded for bear. Now that does mean that anything, any fine motor work, you'll be at a -1 for. Big heavy gloves, things like that. But you still get your bonuses to dex, your bonuses to strength, and of course, those fantastic armor bonuses. The GeDeCo assassins aren't dressed quite that well. They are in lightweight polycarapace armor, and they've got stunners, laser pistols, and Gauss rifles. So, as well as subdermal armor and neural comms and enhanced vision. And they're cybered up, and they are vat-grown clones. Technically, they're only 16 years old, but you've all met those girls. They're 16 going on 30. So we are at Gregor. And let's see, one other thing that Gregor probably missed. When you guys got back to the floating palace, the palace was all abuzz because an invitation, a special courier had been dispatched to the Kingdom of Drinax to send an envoy. Of course, it sounds like they were expecting Prince Herrick, possibly King Oleb, who is, by the way, out of a coma. He is rehabilitating. He has taken an interest in Torpolian water polo, and that is part of his rehabilitation. but nobody, they haven't decided who's going to go, and these guys decided that they were going to bring it up to King Olaf and Prince Eric that they wanted to be the delegation to go. What this invitation is Vorito is reopening, the grand reopening of their high port. It was decimated in a terrorist attack some years ago, and thanks to a generous deal, generous deal with General Development, their high port is now ready to be completed and is ready for reopening. They're going to have a big ball gala event, and these guys want to kind of go, especially considering that it is right now Grand Central GeDeCo, and so they're kind of interested in that. But they gotta get this. They gotta get their information while it's hot here on Rochando and find out what he knows. So, these are, of course, your assassins. Gregor, what would you like to do? I mean, you can move and blast one.
Is that door open?
Yes.
And I fire at the one right there. So am I close?
Yeah, you get a +1 to that.
And let's see. Dexterity 12.
So your dexterity is normally 12?
Yes.
Okay. So then you get a +4 for your battle dress.
So that makes it 16.
Yeah, so you get a +3 to your...
And a 1 for the gun?
Yep, and gun combat, depending on what you are shooting. If it's a slug, gun combat slug. If it's an energy weapon, energy.
It's a AC 25.
Oh, you're you're using your shoulder-mounted vehicular gun. Oh fuck, that would actually be heavy weapons. I mean, would it? Let's see. Before we say I'm sold on that, let me double check. I want to say that it's heavy weapons. Let's.
It sounds right.
Larger weapons that cause extreme property damage, such as rocket launches, artillery, and plasma gun. Yeah, it would be heavy weapons vehicle.
Then I'll use my laser carbine, cartridge carbine.
Yeah. Well, here's what I can tell you. I mean, so if you're not skilled at it, you're going to take a -3, right? I mean, unless you roll snake, well, you would have to get a -6 or worse in order for something critically bad to happen. So snake eyes definitely. But
It's too close. I'm going to damage a ship.
well, I mean, it's not your guys' ship. I mean, do
Well,
you
it might
care?
be
I mean,
the
what I will say, if you remember, the invisible hand, the inside of this is a far trader, and it has been described as being quite immaculate. I mean, it looks like it was brand new, just came off of the line. I mean, it still has that new ship smell. Like you wouldn't doubt that some of the equipment under the auto chef in the galley is probably still in the bubble wrap. I don't know. Like I said, all I'm saying is that even if you miss, you're probably going to hit. It's an auto cannon, right?
Go with the laser carbine.
Okay. Well, shit. That's a miss, but very narrow miss.
Oh, he gets +3 for his dex and +1 for short range.
Oh, that's true. So that would be a 4. So that would hit. That. Yes, that would be actually that would be a 9. So +1 to damage.
Okay. And I have to look up what the carbine does.
Let's see, laser carbine 4D +3. Ouch. And plus another 1, so that's 22. She's going to take 10 points. What she can take. So you stitch her right across the chest, and it cuts through that polycarapace, and you could probably, well, if your face plates were up, you would be able to smell, the lovely aroma of burning plastic and probably some carbon fiber as it and ozone as it fills the air of the common area. That's got to be pleasant. But she's still standing. Probably quite unhappy with that. Oh, actually, though, she might. I forgot she had cover. Cover mod.
One right through the door had cover.
She's actually right on this corner. I had to turn on the grid. There it is. It doesn't matter. Anyway, she gets hit. Did you want? I mean, you only move 2 squares. You've got. You can. Let's see. You move 3 squares. You can move. Yeah, there you go. Get yourself back around a corner. Keith, you're all the way down here in engineering. What are you doing?
I assume I can tell that there's something going on at this point.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
you hear a faint static in the background of your comms. Like somebody's trying to mess with comms. You can hear that whining and the extra static, but the comms are not blocked. So you would know that it has hit the fan.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take cover. Like right here. I guess I'm basically in the same spot. I'm just gonna take cover and aim for the door. Keep
Okay.
an eye out for whatever is coming around there.
Okay. So on your next turn, you will have an automatic +1. If you use your other minor action for anything that comes through the door, you can take another minor action to aim again, bringing it to +2. You can have up to a +3. So if you spent another round aiming, you could bring it to +3. Anyways, Mr. Tang, what are you doing?
Ting is gonna step right in here, shut the door, and with a minor action, and I'm gonna pull the pin on a electromagnetic pulse grenade.
Okay.
Well, let's see if these motherfucking augmented motherfuckers spent the money. You know what I mean? And if they didn't, then their special vision goes away and they're in the fucking dark and their comms go away and they're here and they might be strong and fit and all of that, but I think that'll really hamper them down a good bit.
Yes. So you're gonna make me pull.
And I really shouldn't have to roll because I'm just holding it in my hand because I'm thoroughly shielded inside and out.
Right.
I'm just literally pulling a pin and holding it out with the palm up and smiling as it zoom. And let's see. Did they spend the money? It's not a cheap add-on. I mean,
Yeah, but they are corporate clones, and I'm gonna have to open another book and look. Let's see. It doesn't appear that electromagnetic pulse allows for any kind of save of any kind. Let's see, unshielded electronics of more than 2 tech levels lower than that of the grenade. So the EMP grenade is tech level 9. Will be permanently fried, while all electronics of more than 2 tech levels higher will be completely immune. Well, this might not work, and I'll tell you why in a second. Robot handbook.
Because they're more than 11.
Yeah, I think they're 15.
Where's the shot?
Well, I mean, the enhanced vision that they have is not TL15. It's TL13 at best.
I have no idea.
I mean, unless they just get really amped up.
Not. They're not.
And if it's that big a deal, I could just attack the son of a bitch.
No, just give me a second. God damn it. Hold on. It's chewing on it. So, they are TL15, which means
And nothing would take effect.
no, they are more than 2 above it.
Alright, well, that was that.
I can tell you that naked, without their external armor and weaponry, they cost 790,000 credits each.
Well, it is what it is.
Did you, instead of popping that, I mean, did you want to still pop the grenade, or do you want to make an attack? I mean,
Oh, yeah, I'll just run in through there and
Skewer her.
go with this first motherfucker and see how they like melee combat.
sure. All right, so they, see here. She's going to. I have to look it up again. God damn it.
I got a 13.
You got a 13. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think. If it works the way I think it does. Parrying. Traveler in close combat may attempt to parry an opponent's melee attacker's reaction. In so doing, they will inflict their melee skill as a negative DM. -3, that's still going to hit for 10, giving you a +2 to damage. And I mean, with your AP, I don't know.
Yeah, I know my AP is nuts, but I'm just at it because it's been a minute. I got AP 20, 4D +2. That's 16.
Okay, so
I think she died.
she did not, but she is. So you reach out and slash, and she kind of turns pale. It just goes right through that polycarapace armor, and she turns pale. There is a torrent of blood that comes out, and she collapses to the floor, kind of twitching, and her eyes are flickering or kind of fluttering, and she is unconscious.
Okay. Then I got 6, right? I was right here. Yeah, okay. I just want to spend the rest of my time just kind of moving right over here next to this guy,
Okay.
you know, and kind of be like, "Hi, how you doing?"
So Beth, you can spend a minor action to stand up.
Yes, I will use the minor action to stand up.
Probably looking down at the dent in your your chest
Going,
piece.
holy shit.
Yeah.
And then, can I see this one? Or
Yeah, she does have cover.
I can
Which
still try, right?
with cover it is, I want to say a -1. Oh wait, target in cover -2.
Okay. -2. So firing is a minor action, right?
But firing your weapon is a so. Oh, here's another problem. He shut this door.
Oh shit. Okay, I gotta go open it then.
Yeah, you were on your back, man.
Yep.
And
Got it.
I was, yeah. I got a
Open
lot
the
of
door.
leniency buying. Yeah.
And then I probably only got like a minor action left, right?
Yes.
I will aim.
Okay.
So I'll get a +1 next time.
Yes, you will. Okay. Assassins.
That rifle that motherfucker had is no longer really optimal, is it?
Mm-mm.
It's gonna be a bunch of dead teenager to clean up after this.
Yeah, and in your in she could pull her laser pistol, but I mean that's you're in battle dress. She really needs to use that gas rifle. She is going to make an attempt to gain some distance. So you can make an automatic attack, or I'm sorry, a reaction to make an attack if you'd like.
I think I would.
Okay.
How about a 12?
Okay. She will use a reaction to parry, making that a 9. So you get +1 to damage.
8. What a bullshit ass roll. But it's AP 20. It's AP 20, but it sucked.
So you reach out with your razor claws and open up her polycarapace, and get blood. But she is going to go back here, and then she is going to go full auto on you with the Gauss rifle.
At -1 because of the reaction?
At -1, yes.
Alright.
So she gets 3 of these.
I think I want to dive for cover.
Okay.
And use a reaction.
Okay. So you're gonna be shit. You're gonna be at like what, -2 on your next?
Yep.
Next attack. Let's see. Diving for cover, similar to dodging, but instead of just ducking down or away, the traveler will be throwing themselves to the ground, hopefully behind something solid. So yeah, there's a tail right there. -2 on their attack roll, so she's now gonna be at -3. Yeah, that works. And so, her first rock and roll. Oh wait, that's not right though. I mean, that's gonna miss no matter what. But she also gets a +3 because she's using gun combat slug, and her dex is +2. So she's actually at +2 on this roll total. But it doesn't matter. It wouldn't hit anyways. But let's see what she does next. That's a hit. Now, diving behind that table, I'm going to say that table gives you. Well, I mean, it's just particle board table, so it's probably a +2 bonus to your armor.
Okay.
You know, it's better than nothing. 40. Oof. 22 AP5.
Not enough.
The
Not
table.
enough because that.
The table's
the
not going to
table
give you any
saved
more.
me.
Yeah, the table's not going to give you armor anymore.
Yeah, that's all right.
It worked one time. That's all it needed to
Yeah.
do. And her last attack. Ooh, that's another hit for +2. For
There
11.
you
I
go.
ain't going to get through your armor.
Yeah, that's all right. So I'm at -2 next round in prone.
Yes.
So, there you go.
Yes, you are now prone. And that table is splinters. All right. Well, that was exciting. This
I thought.
this one is going to probably have to use a whole lot of minor action. Let's see. There's one minor action. She can get to this point and open the outer door with her third minor action. That's all she can do. All right. Gregor, what would you like to do?
Fire.
Okay. Light her up.
See, I got her from behind that fucking table for you.
Nothing like removing her cover by making her shoot the table, right?
Yeah.
That is a
Yeah.
hit with +2 to damage.
Damn it.
Okay.
That's a very good roll.
I hear you.
She will take 5, which is an ouch for
I
her.
really want you to break 20 on those, you know?
I know, right? So her polycarapace armor is kind of a smoldering wreck at this point. Gregor hits her again, and you can see this polycarapace is, not only is it scorched from the first time he hit her, but it's now, cut open, and the chest piece is practically just hanging off of her. Did you want to continue to move, or
No.
no? Okay. Down here in the engineering, what's Keith doing?
I want to get this over with, so I'm going to walk up, open the door, and fire.
Okay. Go for it. You get a +1 from... Oh, you moved, though, so I guess the +1 for aiming doesn't count.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay.
What kind of weapon are you using?
I'm using my laser rifle. So I got 14 to hit.
Okay. Okay, so that is a +6. You got a 14 to hit. That is a +6 to damage, and is going to be a critical. So roll your damage +6 first, and we'll see if there's anything
Okay.
left.
$23.
23.
Wow.
She's going to take 11, so that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Definitely goes through that armor.
Do you have
Or-
any AP on that?
On a laser rifle?
I
No.
don't have AP on that.
It is 0G, though, so if he's ever in a
Yeah.
0G environment, which you guys haven't been in nearly enough, in my opinion, he
Yeah.
can fire that and not worry about flinging himself around the compartment. That's a bonus. 0G is the entire reason snub weapons exist. But anyways, so it goes through, but it's a critical hit. So the first question is, go ahead and roll a d6.
Okay. 3.
That is a torso hit, and roll 2d.
7.
Oof, not good for her. So I'm gonna roll a d3. It comes up a 3, which is endurance. Shit, she's gonna lose 3 points from endurance. She's only got 1 point to lose from endurance. That means the other 2 are going to come off of Dex. And then she loses 3 points off of both strength and dexterity.
She's not a 14 anymore.
Yeah, no, she is not. So you poke through, and that laser comes out the other side. You can see smoke rolling up off of her back, where the laser exited her, and it's just basically a burned hole clear through her armor, her chest, and out her back. And it says that she's still standing, but she's gonna die unless given prompt medical assistance and suffers permanent effects if she survives at all. She loses 1d from any one of strength, dex, or endurance, and d3 from all others. So she lost 3 points off of her other attributes too. I don't necessarily know that social counts, but yes, intellect.
Wow.
You hit her in the chest so hard it made her dumb. Did you want to move any more, or?
Yeah, I do. I want to move back
Okay.
and take a little cover here. Yeah.
Where?
I want to take cover behind that.
Probably like right there. That works.
There. Okay.
All right, back up here into the galley. Ting, what would you like to do?
Well, taking -2s to do attack or anything in these rounds.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna spend my minor action to get up,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna go another minor action to move and come up in here to any one of these stations. That station right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna run and jump on this station here, and I want to access the environmental controls.
Okay. Go ahead and make a engineering plus engineering, life support plus intellect or education check.
Okay. Nine.
Okay. What is it that you are wanting to do with environment?
I'm going to turn the gravity in the cargo bay up to 2.0.
Okay. Okay. So now things are going to become more difficult.
Cargo hold. Sorry.
Gravitic shielding is not. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong. But yeah. Almost. High gravity environments that have a gravity of 1.4 or more, typically worlds of size 10, are classed as being high gravity. Humans find high gravity worlds unpleasant, especially high gravity worlds require the use of pressured or powered suits to support the human frame. Travelers on a high gravity world suffer -1 to all skill checks until they acclimatize, a process that takes 1d weeks. Travelers with the athletic strength skill acclimatize in 1d days. She's not going to be able to acclimatize, so she's going to be at -1 for everything while she's standing in the cargo bay. I would, because you just turned that thing on as a reaction, she's going to have to see if she can still stand. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, that's
Yeah.
just her
Yeah.
weight just basically doubled. So
It's a nightmare for a teenage girl.
yes, no, yeah. The 16-year-old teenage girl just doubled in weight. Oh my god!
I feel so sad.
Yes. So she has to make a athletic strength check. Strength is now +0. She does not have athletic strength, so it's a raw roll. Hey, she got a 9. So Keith, you would see her just kind of go, ugh, and it like like she's straining, but she's still standing.
Yeah.
Keith, you can make a reflex or a reflex. You can make a recon plus intellect check.
Oh wow, 14.
Okay, so with your 14, one of the things that you immediately note is that the little bit of blood, because of course a laser is going to cauterize the wound, so the little bit of liquid blood there is from that wound through her chest, it seems to be it almost shoots and sprays onto the floor, like immediately, as soon as you see her kind of lurch. Not like it's shooting out of her, but like it drops faster.
Right.
Captain Beth, what would you like to do?
I was aiming before. I don't know if I can see her still though. I need to step over this corpse and try and shoot this girl on the face.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you didn't want to step forward, I would say that you could probably lean out and shoot around that corner.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably what I would do.
Because according to this, this little toilet here is only 1.5 meters in size. I mean, it's a tiny toilet.
Okay, I'll stay where I was then. But it's 11 to hit.
Yep, that hits with a +3 to damage.
Kill him.
What are you shooting?
A heavy Sandalian laser pistol.
Okay. That.
I got 16 damage altogether.
Okay. That doesn't have AP on it, does it?
I did not write down AP, so I don't think it does.
I don't think it does either, and I'm trying to. There it is. I believe it's in Shadows. There it is. Sindalian Heavy Laser Pistol. 0G, it does not have. It does not have AP. So, what'd you get for damage?
16.
Okay. She's going to take 4. She can take. That's not going to do her any favors for her dex, but she can take that. Okay, so yeah, you whip off a shot with this Sindalian laser pistol, and yeah, it smokes through through what's left of this crumbling polycarapace that she's wearing. She. I don't know how brave or stupid these rods are. Probably.
Probably really brave since they're clones.
Right. I would say that she. She is going to run for it. I don't think she's that stupid. I will give Gregor and Beth. You can whip off a shot with a reaction if you'd like.
Right. Oh, fuck. I whipped it. 4.
Door to this
So,
stateroom is now dead.
Oh, but he fucked him up.
Gregor hit her. What are you shooting again, Gregor?
laser carbine.
Okay. So that is a +4 to damage. $22. Holy shit. Nope. Gregor tags her right as she makes it to this airlock, and she collapses to the floor.
Right.
We've got TL-15 parts to harvest, Captain Beth.
Get out some knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulls out a fucking Gerber or Kershaw pocket knife. Gonna get me some parts.
You can use a pressure washer.
So, Gregor, what would you like to do?
You're muted.
Well, let's see.
So stepping in here, you'll be at a -1 for everything because of the heavy grav.
It's 2G in there because I cranked the grav up in the cargo hold. The room's 7.
I'm in battle dress.
Okay.
Yeah, he could probably. I mean, -1. I ain't gonna mean nothing to him, right?
She's gonna die, so I'm done.
Okay. Keith, what are you doing?
I'll pop around that corner again and shoot her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Help her on
Might
her
as well.
way.
Yeah. Finish her off.
Fuck her up.
Well,
A 12?
Well, I couldn't find jambalaya, so I just ordered gumbo.
Nice.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that is a
nice.
+4 to damage.
Okay.
Hook him up, Keith.
Alright.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Oh, not good.
Not good. No.
Oh, okay.
So I got 15.
15?
50.
Okay. Well,
Could be worse.
she still takes some damage. It does get through her polycarapace. Things aren't looking well for her. But Ting, what would you like to
I want to seal the airlock doors.
do? Okay.
Lock them up.
So, which airlock doors are you locking up? These?
These
Okay.
two leaving the place. We just had some assassins come on and just thought we would,
Yeah.
as
Just
that
the reason I ask is these are technically, well, they're not airlocks though. These are just doors that directly open. That's the one thing about the Hero class Far Trader is that it does not have cargo bay airlocks. So if if you open these doors, it is just directly into space.
Well, I don't think anybody's, but I'm just gonna shut that on down.
Okay. All right. So you lock the doors. Whoop. Beth, what are you doing?
She stepped away for just a moment.
Oh.
Sorry.
No problem. Take a couple second break here.
Are we stealing the ship, or what are we going?
Oh, that is
That's
our
a great
MO.
question.
I'm seriously thinking about just taking this ship off and
Well, you might want to wait to answer that until you've actually talked to Rochando to find out what it is that he knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we need to talk to this guy.
yeah, but I
There's
mean,
a nuclear bomb
while
on board.
while you narrated that these assassins came from the Marduk ship, we might take it too now. Don't get me wrong, but man, from Ting's point of view, it really more looks like this was some shit that Rochando sent to clean his ship up. And so I'm thinking if we take his ship and, remove, he will be more inclined to come talk to us and be forthcoming he doesn't even know where his ship is, Like, well, where's my ship? And, well, I don't know. Well, where is it?
Well, you are forgetting the one assassin that bolted for the bazaar.
Yeah, we need to go talk to her too.
Yeah.
So, Captain Beth, what would you like to do? Start
I'm gonna move
dissecting.
here.
I was gonna say start dissecting. So
I'm gonna move here and
he
guard
shut
the
and
door.
locked both these airlock doors.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I wanted to keep an
I
eye
can
on.
I can move.
Did I disappear? Oh, okay.
I can move the unconscious girls off of the board.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye on the entryway in case that girl comes back.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
figure that Keith and Greer can handle whatever's left down there.
So she See how far she can get. 1 minor action. 2 minor actions. Not far enough. Maybe not. She is going to... She's tired of getting shot by Keith.
She's fucked.
She's going to move here so she's at least out of his line of fire. She's behind these cargo crates. She's going to take a full auto shot at Gregor. So she gets 3 shots, AP 5 at... Ugh. So she's at plus 0 for... Or wait, she's at... Yeah, plus 0 for her dex, which means she only has a plus 3 for gun combat slug. And that's it.
-1 due to the grav.
And -1 due to the grav, so she's at plus 2. That's not looking good for her, but she gets to try it 3 times, so. Alright. Yep. AP 5 auto 3. She gets 3 of these. First one hits. No bonus to damage.
Nanny boo boo.
For 14, I don't think that gets through your 22 protection, even at -5.
I have 25.
You have 25 protection? Okay, so that
I
means...
have improved battle dress.
Okay, so 20 doesn't get through 20. Her second shot...
Oof.
10 is a hit. Plus 2 to damage. So she does crack your battle dress, but you don't take any damage. It just dents your battle dress, doesn't knock you down, though. And her last shot... Another +1 to damage. Pfft, 10's not going to get through. Alright, well, that was as good as that's going to get for her. What are you doing, Greg?
She can shoot at me, I can shoot at her.
Yeah, yeah. You're at -1 because she does have cover.
I aim.
Okay, so
Yeah,
now
correct.
that offsets the cover. That is a +1 to damage. $15 means she's going to take 3. Oh my god, you're just nickel and diming her to death. So you do hit her, and you scar off another piece of her polycarapace. She's kind of pinned down. Keith, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna come up behind her.
Okay.
Might as well. I can reach. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I would say you can. I mean, she's got no cover from where you're at.
All right.
Bring the bag.
Um, 17.
17?
17. I got boxcars.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
And I have pluses for my dexterity and.
So that's going to be another critical hit, +8 to damage. I don't roll the damage +8 first, because we don't know if she's going to live through this.
Okay. Oh my god.
Pretty bad.
Good.
Okay, everybody's been rolling big damage today, so probably got a good one.
What do you want, Pickle Man?
30.
30?
Wow, way to go. That's great.
So That means even with what's remaining of her armor, she's going to take 18. Just
It's so
10.
weird over to her.
So yeah, it was very much like Pickle Rick and his makeshift office supply laser beam cutting those guys in half. He just cut her in half, and she is nothing but smoldering goo on the cargo deck of the Invisible Hand. You guys are now out of combat. Like I said, you know that the fifth one of these ran off towards the bazaar. What do you guys want to do at this point?
I want to try.
I'm a little worried.
Yeah, I want
Is
to.
there a way to let our pacification robot know the description of the GeDeCo assassin or something?
Release if I can put it, but yeah, that's not going to go over well. Just release a pacification robot into the bazaar.
Well, no, but I can put
I
out
thought
a
it was
memo.
calling around.
Well, can't I just send out a quick memo to the Sindalian security?
Yeah.
Drinax security. I mean, I've got some pull in that regard, and just put out a description of the person that just went running, and kill on sight.
And say that Rochando's wanted for questioning.
Yeah, and then say that Rochando is wanted for questioning, as Captain Beth said.
Okay.
Scrub the glue off of our armor.
Oh,
Let's go to the car wash.
I'm fucked up, man. I've got blood all over me.
Oh yeah, you were coated from head to foot.
I've got body tissue and shit just all over. I mean, probably up to my biceps.
Yeah, I would say your disguise
Yeah.
nut's not going to hide that. I mean,
Yeah.
the disguise nut itself is like now covered. It's probably like
Yeah.
flickering in and out. You're switching between Ting in a disguise net and rock hardware, and both of you look like a murder scene.
Yeah.
So you put out a call to Drinax's security, and they call in. I mean, it's not like they have like security guards. I mean, this isn't like Cloud City in Star Wars. They have Hawk Warriors, and that's it. And so they send out a bunch of their not so well trained Hawk Warriors in their ceremonial battle dress to essentially they are looking for the now what is your description of her?
She's like a really
Oh.
bitchy teenage girl.
I mean, can't we just send an image of one of the faces of
Dead
the
one?
corpse, plus also about that fucked up Murdoch costume they had?
Yeah.
Either one.
Okay.
Either one of them, and then that ship that from Murdoch, it needs to be put on hold
Okay. Okay.
immediately because they've released assassins into the palace.
Okay. So here these guys.
We can release the Sindalian death bots with pictures of her and tell her to go get them. They can fight.
So these are the Sindalian. These are the Hawk Warriors.
Looking tough.
Yeah, they are fancy. And these guys go out looking for let's see. They have fuck all. Well, let's see if they're not too bright either. They got a 6 for intellect. Not
Can I
for
trade
education.
them?
You what?
Can I trade one of their rifles for for mine?
Oh, well, they're
They have
stagger
auto
laser.
3 on their rifle.
Yeah, they got auto 3 on their staggers. Yeah.
No, you have to. You don't understand. You sacrifice a point of dignity to get all this free. Or you have to wear that. You prepared for that?
No.
Okay.
No.
You lose 1 point of Soch for the spray and pray. Holy shit. So, okay. And then for Rochando, yeah, that's what I thought. So they lock down the up here the yes it did. So they lock down the royal docks up here. No ships are allowed to come or go, and the pattern. I mean, not that a whole bunch of ships show up here, but if there are any, they are currently held in the pattern and will not be allowed to dock, and no ships are allowed to leave. None. And you see that there are 8 Hawk Warriors come. I mean, you can see this through the windows of the Invisible Hand and probably your local sensors. Show that 8 of these Hawk Warriors come in and secure the royal docks, and you can see that half of them, 4 of them, are knocking on that airlock door to the ship, the merchant class ship from Marduk. They're going to have some splaining to do. Meanwhile, you're kind of listening in on radio chatter in the bazaar, and they do find the 5th assassin. They they note that she was easy to find. She was still wearing the white ceremonial garb and the mask with the moving tentacles. And as soon as they tried to apprehend her or stop her, she went apeshit, and they killed her. And I'm not going to roll for it because there's enough of them, and there's only one of her. And the citizens in the bazaar are screaming and running around, and most of the so the thing about the people on the floating palace, and especially in the bazaar, most of this stuff is stuff they are trying to offload or make. They're trying to sell it to make some money, either to make money to purchase goods that they need on the floating palace, which is a lot, or they're trying to make them make the goods that they are willing to trade attractive enough that perhaps Rochando or some other trader will come and fence them for something worthy. Now, what that means is that most of everything that is for sale, almost everything, are ancient Sindalian artifacts. They are things that have been plundered over the past several centuries from the floating palace itself. And so, I mean, the very existence of the floating palace is kind of a sore spot with King, especially King Oleb, but even somewhat to Prince Herrick, because they're basically giving away their heritage in return for simple food and a couple of other items. And so, they these people are grabbing as much as they can, as much as they can carry, and trying to run for their lives in fear at the same time. The other report comes back. The Hawk Warriors, and this goes on for probably the next 3 hours. The Hawk Warriors search the bazaar and do not find Rochando. They report there's no sign of him. One of the Hawk Warriors, you can hear him report back to the barracks that if they're for one, they're not sure why they're searching for Rochando. The assumption with the Hawk Warriors is that that this assassin was sent to kill Rochando. And this one hawk warrior kind of opines that perhaps either one of two things. Maybe the it's too late and they just haven't found the body yet, or perhaps Rochando went to ground and is hiding so good ain't nobody gonna find him. And he says, with all of the service tunnels and whatnot that runs through the floating palace, he could be anywhere. So,
Did we go hunting for him?
yeah, I mean that's up to you guys.
I mean, we could do leave somebody here at the ship, or two people, and we can do. We've got business to do in the area, but I mean, we really do need to find this Rochando guy.
I can't easily show his face around here anymore. He's gonna have to like escape.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
thinking.
he's not going anywhere while the
The docks
docks are locked down. Probably okay for a little bit.
Well, you've got. You can finish disabling his fucking jump drives.
Yeah, I mean there's
I'll
there's
do that.
more than enough time you would have to disable those drives.
And then I guess we can go into the station and look around.
You can all anybody who is wanting to search can make a streetwise plus social check.
Okay, that's not this one.
Oh, the social before, I don't think I'm gonna roll that.
12.
Social of 4, that's only a -1 to your roll. Ting did well.
Well, I'm fabulous.
That's true. Well, are you though? I mean, you're covered in blood and viscera. I mean,
No, it's okay.
yeah, just hose him down. It'll be fine.
Just a quick hose off, and this stuff is still fresh.
Yeah, that's true.
know?
That's true. You had about 3 hours. So you can probably clean up in Rochando's ship. So yeah, with
In his room.
in his room, yes, using his bed sheets as towels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cologne on.
So, yeah, he has a copious amount of cologne. I mean,
His name's Rochando.
his name is Rochando, so he's got a lot of panther piss. Okay, so asking around the bazaar, things have had a chance to kind of calm down. People are kind of, cautiously moving back in. The Hawk Warriors are telling people, there's nothing to be fearful for. You don't have to run. There's no need for to be queens of drama. You can come back to your stalls. We've taken care of the issue, and you kind of ask around, and one stall owner points in a direction and says, they saw him, heading over towards those stalls, and you go and you talk to those people, and they're like, oh, well, we saw him run into this back alley back here, and you go back there and you see that there's one little stand set up selling, minor food fare. And they tell you that he went over and went into a grate down into the undercroft, and so you follow and you end up into the underbellies of the service tunnels of the floating palace. Anybody who does anybody have survival?
I have a survival 1.
I have survival 0.
Yeah, that counts. If you've got
Yeah,
survival,
but you're-
I mean, not that you can't make the roll, because if you don't have survival, that just means you're at -3. But anybody with it, I mean, anybody can make a survival plus intellect check.
11.
6.
That was pretty good.
9.
Ooh, okay. So you are Keith's able to pick up a trail leading through the undercroft that he believes is somebody was in a hurry. They were running through the undercroft. They weren't. There's a lot of water down here. There's bizarre areas down here where the gravity is either stronger or lighter, and it's not difficult for you to follow this particular trail. And you come into a small chamber, kind of probably was originally a storage area for the construction of the floating palace. And in here, you do find Rochando cowering in a corner, and he's unarmed. You've never known Rochando to be armed in the first place. But here he is. He's wet, he's disheveled, he's fearful, and you guys come busting in wearing battle dress. How are you guys handling this?
Why you have so much up towards me? No, I don't know what to say.
Well, yeah. What
He's
is
been
he gonna
spying on us, and we need to know what he's told GeDeCo.
Okay. Make a persuade plus social check. Whoever is saying, if you're just straight up confronting him, make a persuade plus social check. Now, of course, if Ting does it, then he gets his fabulous.
That's why I was going to hear it.
If you want me to roll it, I will.
Yes, please.
Yeah. 11.
Okay. So Rochando just starts spilling his guts. So he tells you. So the first thing that he tells you is that those GeDeCo assassins, it evidently was determined that he was compromised, and those assassins were meant both for you and for him. And so, I mean, it's a good thing that you dealt with them, or else we'd all be dead. But what he tells you is, the general information, it's clear that he knows he's in trouble. And he believes, he tells you wholeheartedly, he says, I believe in GeDeCo's cause, and I think that the corporation is ultimately beneficial to the Trojan Reach. He says, so you have to preface that with what I'm about to tell you. And he tells you that the first thing you need to know is that General Development Company is more than just a trading company. It conceals a secret conspiracy that manipulates events, governments, and whole star systems all across the Trojan Reach. The conspiracy's aim is to prepare the Trojan Reach to resist the Aslan in order to protect the Third Imperium. The conspiracy, in my opinion, ultimately is beneficial to both the Imperium and the Trojan Reach. He says, GeDeCo does great and wonderful things, but there is nothing they will not do to further their plan. If that means that some people have to get killed, then so be it. He says that GeDeCo does have a plan in place, though. And he does not know all the details, but he knows that it involves some man named Yaskarl. which you've heard that name before. That initial report that you read, that was on the top, it was basically the fax cover sheet that you found in the GeDeCo data drum, was a part of the Yaskarl report. And he says, anybody who wants can make a science plus education check. It's going to be difficult 12 plus.
Ooh, I did not make it. Okay.
Man, I'm not even sure if I have a science skill.
You get -3 if you
Even
don't have
fine.
science. Now watch, you'll be the one that'll get it.
I got 11.
Of course.
All right. So, don't have science. That's -3 plus what? Intelligence?
Education.
Here we go.
So it means nothing to you. But Keith, you do seem to remember something about a Professor Yarskarl being, and this goes way back history in history. Something about a Professor Yarskarl was involved with the psionics suppressions of the Third Imperium. So there was a it can kind of be described like the Red Scare of the 1950s, where the Third Imperium went through a before the psionics suppressions. The Third Imperium had psionics institutes. They were studying psionics. They were training psionics, and then I don't remember if it was the first or second, or which frontier war. Anyways, they got kind of scared of the Jodani, and there was this massive scare that went around the Imperium. Most of it was bullshit. That you couldn't trust psionics because you didn't know who was reading your thoughts. Just walking down the street, you had no personal privacy because nobody knew who had these powers, and they just generally found them to be quite dangerous. But mixed in with that, there was also a matter of corruption dealing with the psionics institutes that were running in the Imperium at the time. And this Professor Yaskarl, you remember something about him being tied up in this corruption, in that there were iligal experiments done on people in order to study psionics, either to take psionics or people that had some psionic potential and do illegal experiments trying to make them more powerful, or just experiments trying to experiment on the general population that weren't psionic, trying to figure out ways of mind control or things of that nature. But there were stories of terrible things going on to the students at these psionic institutes. And you have the reason why you remember this is because you ran into some of this information way back in this game when you ran across the illegal institute, the underground institute on the planet Blue. You remember?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I remember that. Yeah.
Yes, and it was very similar. There was like all these weird experiments going on, children that were essentially kidnapped from their families, or their families were convinced to send them to this special school, and in the meantime,
Firefly.
yeah, it was very much like Firefly. Yes, there were all these bad things going on at these institutes, and so you remember that this Professor Yaskarl was kind of tied up in that. But this was, in fact, I can give you a date. So if we figure that now has to be around 1107 because the Fifth Frontier War started. So the psionic suppressions happened between the years 800 and 826.
That's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, but I mean it has become more or less codified into law. That's why everybody still remembers it these years later, is because this is kind of the high law of the Third Imperium, that psionics are not necessarily, for on most worlds they're outright illegal. But there are some gray areas, like for instance the Chikari are a humanoid dolphin species that are naturally psionic, and so they're tolerated. And there's a couple of other cases. A lot of the droin are considered psionic, but they're considered tolerated because of their because they're natural citizens. They can't not be psionic. You know what I mean? So yeah, you remember a bit of this, and he admits that he is a spy for GeDeCo, and he believes it is his belief that he's the only agent currently on Drinax. He can't be certain of that, but he only has contact with a spy master on Vorito whose name is Nier.
Okay.
He tells you that his mission on Drinax was to observe shipping and space traffic and denote special visitors to the floating palace. You guys initially definitely fell into the special visitors, especially with how quickly you ingratiated yourselves with the crown. And he then says Vorito sees Drinax as a potential source of stability and advanced technology. And he says once Drinax has moved out of the shadow of its warmongering, Sindal-influenced past, it can become a useful part of the Trojan Reach. He has very little knowledge, about a lot of your activities, but enough that what he has retained, he's passed on, of course. And some of the things that you have more or less openly boasted about have, of course, been reported to his superiors on Vorito. Otherwise, he assures you that GeDeCo is mostly unaware of a lot of the other things that you've done. All that they know is stuff that you have brought up, or that would be either knowledgeable to him, or that you have boasted about, or would be public knowledge. For instance, it is very clear to them that you played a pivotal role in the coup attempt, and so there are some things that you have done that he's been made aware that GeDeCo is rather unhappy about. I mean, there's been several GeDeCo agents that have fallen to your gunfire. But he also tells you, he says that right now GeDeCo is building a new high port at Vorito, and that Vorito will once again be open for trade, and that means that there's going to be a lot more traffic coming past and through Drinax. He says this will offer up a lot of opportunities, but it's also going to draw attention from the Third Imperium to the Tliawaha subsector, which is this subsector of space. And this could interfere with the plans that GeDeCo has for Drinax. He says the high port is heavily defended, and the corporation will not tolerate a second terrorist attack on their high port. He says he has no idea how the saboteurs made it on the first time, but he knows that a window for a raid on the high port would be during the opening ceremony. And he says he's bringing this up because at the heart of the high port is a mysterious vault. He says the whole station is built around this one vault, and it seems to be of immense significance to general development. He says, I've only been there once. It was when I was sworn into the company's service, and I only saw a small portion of it. But I believe that the vault's contents are extremely precious to GeDeCo. And the reason I bring up that if there was going to be a raid attempt to get there, it would be during the opening ceremony, which will draw visitors from all across the subsector. And security is going to be tight, but it might be possible, if you were interested to find out what's in that vault, for you to sneak aboard, either as guests or as part of an entourage. And he suspects that the gathering might be part of some scheme that GeDeCo has going, but he has no idea what it could be. He says, to be honest, he says the company is capable of anything.
Well, I sure like a fucking good heist. I know it's gonna be bullshit in the vault, and it won't be worth all the shit that we go through to get it. Okay, they don't ever pack their vaults big enough for the shit we got to go through to open them. It seems like,
Right?
But you know what the fuck ever. If
This dragon's got shit for a horde.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for breaking into some shit, and if we're gonna go do some nefarious shit on a high port, hell yeah, I'm down for that. But you know, we're gonna have to sell off your ship, Rolando.
I think we gotta keep him alive somewhere too, because if he understands how GeDeCo works, it'd be great to go ask somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to go sell your ship because they were trying to kill you, and we're gonna take you into protective custody.
He does tell you one additional thing, is that he never really wanted to work for GeDeCo in the first place. He didn't want to.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do this. He was a trader, low man on the totem pole. He just moved GeDeCo freight around from port to port. His son started working in the upper echelons of the company, and more or less, Rochando was basically told or coerced that he would be working for GeDeCo, or else his son would have an accident in an airlock. And so he's been kind of forced into this against his will. And he says he will tell you. I mean, he looks at all of you and he says that armor you're wearing came from GeDeCo. He goes, whenever you gave me something or requested me to get something, I just flew to Vorito and put in the order, and the company brought it to me.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I believe it. Some stuff we didn't buy from you, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I definitely want to keep him around. I'm saying this just right here as if he's not in front of us. But, I do want to keep him around. I think we take him in like protective custody and bring him with us, and we sell his ship.
Well, he says I can't go to Vorito. If I'm discovered on Vorito, then they want me dead.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and he says,
Captain Beth is pretty good sergeant.
He says if you let out to King Oleb or Prince Herrick that I was a GeDeCo spy, they're probably going to put me in the gravity dungeons, and I will be killed again. So there's got to be some way that you can help me here.
Well, I mean,
could you maintain my cover here on the floating palace? Don't tell Oleb and Herrick.
I mean, but how does your cover necessarily work when you don't have a ship?
I'd be perfectly happy to stay here until I can find a way to get another ship. He says,
"Oh, well."
He says, "Here," and he pulls a mobile comm out of his pocket. He goes, and he touches his finger to it. He says, "There's all my security codes to the invisible hand.
Oh
Ship
man,
is yours."
he is really, really being hard to kill.
Rochando's good at his job.
Yeah.
Look, man, if we can give him a alternate identity and work it through the stuff here, I mean, he'd probably be really an excellent trade guy. To to
We
actually.
could.
You know what we could do? To make him like the economics guy at the Scholars Tower. Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
fun?
Yeah, that's a
I
pretty
don't
good
know.
idea.
It seems like he knows his shit. He knows
Yeah.
GeDeCo. He knows
Yeah.
trading. Maybe he could do something to contribute there.
I think that's fucking excellent. That gives him a way out without dying and all that. And we
That's
have
some
a
new
really
nerdy crap. I
yeah.
know.
Now he tells you, he says says this vault. He says it's at the heart of the high port in Vorito. So he goes, if you were to plant explosives around it, I mean, that would technically probably destroy the high port. I mean, you're going to need a lot of explosives. The high port's not small, but it would cripple it at the very least. And if that were done, it would temporarily remove GeDeCo's influence from the Trojan Reach. This is so. GeDeCo's true headquarters is actually in the Spinrad Marches. It's on Deneb, but this is like their second headquarters. This is where they're planning all of this shit for the Reach, and where their secret black ops conspiracy crap is going on for the Trojan Reach. And he says, if they didn't have that high port, that would be removed. And he says, what I do know about the vault, aside from its location, is that it has I know two of its security measures. He says the door requires a DNA sample. He knows that his handler, Nier, was on the approved list. That's all he knows. He says the door also required a pass card. Nier did not have a pass card. One of the guards that escorted us to the vault actually had the card. So it required two people to open the door.
Okay. So one of you guys is gonna have to fuck me air, and the other person's gonna have to steal the card from the guard.
Well,
You know, the solution here is to pretend you're Rochando, sneak up on him, and then
But they want to kill her.
yeah, they'll try to kill him, and then we just
What?
I'll sneak up behind this guy who
Oh, you're saying we need a
we
Rochando.
need a Rochando for bait.
So the only
I've
thing
got disguise kits.
true, and the
Yeah, we got our
only
disguisement.
downside with that is that anybody that would have had close contact with Rochando, such as Nier, would automatically get a check to notice that there's something wrong with your disguise. Anybody else who would have just seen Rochando probably wouldn't notice anything being amiss, especially with a disguise net. But anybody intimately knowledgeable of the man would automatically probably see that something was off.
Right, that would tip him off. Okay.
If you guys want to go try to figure out which guard has the pass key and get it, I can handle the handler. Nobody can resist the flair of rock hardware.
That's a good point.
You can steal from Drinax.
I will go up
How does
there and
How does the
we can.
DNA check work?
The
Is it
DNA
like
check
blood sample?
was just a biometric scan.
Oh, okay. Damn it. I thought you could deposit some liquid in a thing.
Okay, we're gonna have to go jack off Nier.
Might
That's what's gonna happen.
be able to wear it. Gonna skip
I
it.
said one of you guys has to go fucking
Can you
here.
please
And
pass
nobody
the-
said
can you please
anything.
pass the
Nobody
over?
have a problem with that at all. I'm like, all right, well, let's go with that.
Ting don't give a fuck if it's about getting paid in that vault. He would stick his dick in the vault keyhole and crank on the knobs if he thought it would get a couple mil. So
Yeah.
So the
We're
first
gonna
thing
have to
that
go
the
back.
first thing that you will need to do is convince King Oleb that you should be the ones to go.
Oh, true.
We could also
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm still out here in the bazaar.
I mean, do we really have to ask anybody to let it? I mean, if we just went and did the score, they can thank us later.
Well, you're going to need to show up with the invitation.
Right. Not only that, but if we just go, then somebody else is going to show up from Drinax, and we don't want that either.
Right? Yeah, that could be
Oh.
awkward.
Really
Yeah.
nasty.
All right. Well, then let's go talk
Let's
to.
talk to him.
Yeah, let's talk to Oli and see, or the Prince, whoever's really running it, and get them to
Yeah.
send us as an envoy.
Okay.
And meanwhile,
Probably Eric.
I think
yeah,
it's all him.
So
He tried to be
meeting
cool.
with Prince Herrick, he leads you to the swimming pools where King Oleb is currently doing physical therapy, doing Tyrolean water polo, and he's like, yeah, I don't have time for this, bloody hell. Yes, and he looks at Prince Herrick and he goes, just give them the processed codes. And
That's why we love Ola.
And Prince Herrick goes, "Oh, I think I'll go."
and King Oleb also reminds Herrick. He says, "Besides, you've got too much bloody business to work on here, running my kingdom for me." And so Prince Herrick stamps off and gives you the royal seal. Each of you gets an invitation to this opening ceremony ball that's going to take place on Vorito. So then the next question I have is, what ship are you taking?
We're taking the destroyer.
There.
Yeah, this is the
I haven't taken
destroyer.
shenanigans anywhere in forever. I bet she's bored as hell.
we could take shenanigans, but we wanted to keep in mind we wanted probably a decent cargo space. I think shenanigans has a decent cargo space.
Yeah, shenanigans actually. So
I've never been on shenanigans.
she is an
snap.
Empress Morava class. She's got 40 tons cargo with 3 tons of concealed compartments. That's what, nearly double. I think. Companion. The Harrier.
It's like 20 tons.
Yeah, the Harrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Harrier's got maybe 20. I think 27 tons on the Anubis after you put in the medical bay. But what about Osiris?
Are we trying to be like? I mean, we're trying to be a diplomatic envoy, right? So
True.
We're
So
also trying to
so
steal
the
stuff.
Osiris has 36 tons of cargo space, so it's not that much less than shenanigans. The big
think
benefit of
that's
shenanigans is that it has a conscious AI on it, or I'm sorry,
Yeah.
conscious intellect, conscious intelligence living in its computer.
I like shenanigans. I mean,
Yeah, I like shenanigans too. Let's do it.
I
Hey
mean,
guys, are we going somewhere?
Yes.
yes.
So where you are going?
Kevin's enjoying the graphic of King 11.
There's this cool stand here selling hot dogs.
Yes, yeah, made from real hot dogs. So here is Drinax. Vorito is down here.
Oh,
So at J2, what route do you want to take?
doesn't really matter much, does it?
Well,
It does a
hold
little bit.
on.
Did
Yeah,
you guys have
Cam-
stuff you were talking about wanting to sell at Tyok? Because you got a fence there with Tassie Two Toes, who works in essentially the Aslan Mafia, that you could fence stuff there.
We want to sell the lucky, the Mirage hand or whatever the fuck.
The invisible hand. Yeah.
The invisible hand.
Oh, you could probably sell the invisible hand at Tyok. I mean, Cassie Two Toes could come up with buyers for a far trader.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we could bring some crew and one of the Harriers that far with us, and then the Harrier that comes with us can take the crew that pilots the invisible hand. You know,
Back to
to
Drinax.
take them back to Drinax. This Murloc ship, can we sell it too?
So excuse me, the investigation into the merchant transport from Marduk, the Hawk Warriors basically show you guys or send you as you know, since you ordered this command, they send you information that they found. It seems that the merchant cruiser, at least to their eyes, is on the up and up. It is an actual merchant ship from Marduk. Whoever wants can make a admin plus intellect or education check.
Oh, I got admin.
I do not.
Hell yeah, I got admin 1. I'll get a +2. Fuck it. Other people got it too, though.
Yeah. Anybody else who wants to roll can.
Oh, I got nine.
-3.
You
I'm not gonna roll.
guys are like, ew, paperwork.
Really.
So what?
I can use my AC-25 on paperwork.
That's right. Yes. What did Keith get?
A 9.
A 9. So you got it too. So yeah, you go over these logs, and it appears so this merchant transport from Marduk, it was making a pretty standard merchant run. Kind of, not that it says so specifically in the paperwork, but reading between the lines, it looks very much like this merchant ship was very closely falling in line with your verbal agreement with Marduk to join the new kingdom of Drinax once that is set up. And so, in so doing, they have opened trade with Drinax. It was carrying pretty standard load, a lot of seafood and seafood-related items. These five merchant guild members seem to want passage to Drinax and paid for it with merchant guild funds at the last minute. And the captain, for one, the captain being a merchant ship out of stationed out of Marduk, can't really say no to the Merchants Guild. I mean, he can, but that's going to be problematic in the future. And
He's going to have some interesting fees to pay.
Yeah, he would have some interesting fees to pay. And number two, they paid up front, and so he just accepted the money and they boarded. He notes in his log that they seem to keep to themselves the entire time.
All right, well then I'm not mad about them. Yeah, that they're more helpful than trying to fuck them over. That trade, we need that trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a graph or something in the background that has our good trade points on it, but it'll definitely take a hit if we.
Well,
make
I can show you. You guys have actually done quite well. So there is, of course, we'll just start off, with the elephant in the room, Asim, which I wouldn't necessarily call as a good trade point because Asim is more or less a chattel world for Drinax. They invaded Asim and blew the shit out of it. That's what led to Prince Herrick getting all fuckered up and being more machine than man. But, food supplies do continue to come in from Asim, and that is pretty much what is feeding most of Drinax. You also have good relations with Torpal, although Torpal, there's not really much for them to trade. But they have opened up some really nice avenues for tourism, and because Torpal is covered by a bunch of resorts, and so they're resorts and casinos, and so tourism trade has increased. Clark, they don't have a whole lot either, because Clark is mostly a dead world, and they are a theocracy ruled by the psychopomps that pretty much build their buildings out of carbon freezed blocks of dead people. So not it is what it is. There are some relics and whatnot that are sometimes found, because at one time Clark was a really high tech level, and so sometimes relics make their way to Drinax, but again, not a whole lot. Blue, they do have a pretty good trade route. Blue is mostly academic, but there is a lot of farmland there. You have good relations with Tech World, of course, and you've got incoming tech from Tech World. You've got good relations with Arunasir, despite the fact that most of Arunasir has been run over by, or half of it, is Ihati bands. But you do have good relations with both sides of Arunasir, and a lot of the mining potential that comes from Arunasir is now being sold to Drinax. Let's see here. You have good relations.
Astrid, didn't we do that?
Yeah, we did Acrid. I remember that one.
Acrid. You've got there again. You've got biochemicals and things of that nature coming off of Acrid.
We have a home on Gordon.
Borite. The home on Borite got destroyed.
Yeah,
you've got good relations with Marduk. Of course not Ogma. Noricum. Oddly enough, there's nothing. Occasionally, some rare Sindalian artifact comes off of Noricum, because Noricum was originally the center. It was the capital of the Sindalian Empire. Its original name was Sindal. Noricum is pretty much bombed out and an infested, biological disaster. But sometimes rare artifacts are found. The weird thing about Noricum is that there is an actual, honest-to-God, direct descendant of the last imperial emperor living on Noricum, who lives in a little hut and grows turnips. He, at one point, actually signed over rights to the Empire to you guys. Like, his official seal and the whole 9 yards. Not that anybody gives a shit about what he says. He can go back to growing and eating his turnips. But, it is quite official. You have fairly good relations with Thebes, although you haven't really talked to them about trade deals. Number one doesn't like you. Ace thinks that Cameron thinks that Captain Beth is the next queen of Ace. As foretold by the prophecy, and that's about as far as you've got. So that's a pretty good block of space for a new kingdom.
We got our source of duck plates from Fantasy.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes, you got to sell some duck plates and post hole diggers at Fantasy. Birney's not.
I guess some hot people come from there. That's something I could give us.
Sync. You've been to Sync, but there's been no real movement. Paul. You haven't really made any movement there, although you have been there. And of course, there's the Band-Aid at the World, but I don't want to give away anything about the World.
Gotta hit up the World on the way back.
So your first jump is going to be, you're saying, from Drinax to Tyok?
We're heading to Tyok, so I guess.
I thought it was a J2 ship, or
Yeah,
is it J3?
It is. That's a good question. I think it's J2.
Yeah, so we might have to
J2
go
with
this
thrust
way
4.
or the long way around. I don't know which way we want to go.
Yeah, let's go to.
Victoria? Like that? Or we would go along with
Yeah, I think we've been there before.
I think so.
I
Where?
swear there was like an ice world.
So Katoria is a staging ground for Ihati bands. It is an ice world, and it is. I mean, it's still a staging ground. You have good contacts there.
Yeah, we went out
You have
there.
really
We
good
helped them
contacts
out.
there.
Sweet. Okay, then we should go there first and heal up.
I mean, you could probably. I would say that even knowing Tassie Two Toes, you would probably get a better rate selling the Invisible Hand at Katoria because these are Ihati. Not all of them have ships.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Okay, we could do that.
It's a really nice ship too, so
Yeah,
somebody
hell
might
yeah.
pay good money for it.
I
Just
would
tell them that keep it away from GeDeCo operations. They'll be just fine.
right. I would say find it trader. Yeah, this is a hero class. You guys can make a streetwise plus social check, but you can make that with a boon. Now, many moons ago, when you were on Katoria, there was a whole bunch of Aslan shit going on, and you at one point, I think you either stopped a duel or won a duel. Anyways, it won you points.
I
Yeah.
got 9.
13.
I got
I got a 9.
He's got
Yeah,
14.
so okay.
I got a 9 as well.
Okay, so yeah, you guys find a wealthy contact on Katoria. Now, Ihati are second sons. That is not to say that all of them are disowned by their family. Not all of them are broke. But this guy will give you. He'll give you 29 mega credits.
Yeah,
That
I don't
sounds
see.
good to me.
Yeah, I don't see a reason to turn that down.
And he does not care that the ship is stolen.
It's
Excellent.
really
Okay.
not. Dude turned over all the shit to us.
That's true. That's true. He turned it over to you, so you can sell this legitimately, and it is, 29 mega credits is what he's offering.
Yeah,
I'm gonna add that to the group fund then.
yeah. That's what we're doing it for. We spent a whole bunch of money on system defense boats and shit.
That's true.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah,
give us
so
the
we're-
money back.
That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah,
get.
you bought system defense boats for Drinax, so I mean you don't have to worry about a 10% tithe to King Oleb. That's covered. So from here, where are you jumping from Katoria?
Are we getting training time?
Yes. So there's 1 week you can add to your study period.
Destructive by studying corrals. Oh snap! I'm up to 8 weeks.
That's
I've been
me.
drinking for 8 whole weeks.
I do heavy weapons for my AC 25 at 0.
So you're studying for heavy weapons?
Yes.
You don't have heavy weapons at all, right?
Nope.
So that would be 1 week towards an 8-week period, study period. So Cameron, does Beth have any carouse at all?
I have crowd 1.
Okay. So is that 1 8-week period, or so you're trying to take carouse to 2?
I guess so.
So this is your first 8-week period. Make a carouse plus endurance check. You want to get 8 or better.
I like that. You kind of use the skill you're fucking with.
Yeah, because as my thought process on it is that if you already have the skill, you should be able to learn new stuff for the skill easier than if you don't have the skill at all.
I got 9. I just barely made it.
Okay, so you made your first 8-week study period. You need to make one more 8-week study period, and then if you make the carouse plus endurance check at the end of that 8-week study period, your carouse will go up to 2.
Okay.
I hit my 8th week on art performer.
Okay, so do you have art performer already?
I have art performer 1, and I'm trying to go to art performer 2.
Okay, so make an art performer plus social check. Maybe not. Art. Is it social? It is. No, it would be art performer plus education.
All right. That's an 11.
Okay, so there's your first 8-week period. You've got one more 8-week study period to go before you can raise to 2. Did anybody else hit a full study period?
I'm at 6 weeks.
Okay. And I think Gregor's just starting for heavy weapons.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you going from Katoria?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go to Tyok. What were you doing at Tyok? Anything in particular?
We're gonna fence the ship, but we fenced it already, so
Yeah.
I don't know if we have any other stuff to fence. I don't think that we do. So I guess we're just
Refueling?
filling up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to. This is kind of a populated area, though, right?
Oh yeah, Tyok is massively busy. Like
Right.
it is a ring world. I mean, it literally has a literal ring that is built around the planet that is one gigantic high port with hundreds of, probably thousands of docking berths and different high ports all around it. It is a big deal. Huge amount of shipping traffic coming and going, especially from the hair rate, but also Imperial ships.
I need to get some rare and fine alcohol and entertainment drinks for my my bartender bot.
Make a broker plus intellect or education.
9.
You get it. I would say that would probably cost you 1,200 credits.
That's no big deal.
Is there a generic bar, a generic restaurant?
At Tyok, probably not. It's all Aslan stuff. Well, you know what there is, though? There is a brew, what is it, the Brew House Tavern and Steak Bar. And the thing about the Brew House Tavern is that they serve all local cuisine. So this is all going to be Aslan food. But no matter which brew house you go to, they all have something that is pickled. Sometimes it's eggs, sometimes it's eyeballs, sometimes it's fish. Nobody knows, and there's a big joke about getting new people that come into the brew house to eat the pickle.
They also have this disgusting fermented milk.
Yes,
food
yes.
thing.
They
It's
have
really
a
gross.
fermented milk that they drink, yes. That's an Aslan thing, yeah.
Got really
They
fucked
have
up.
beer?
Oh yeah, there's Aslan beer, for sure.
I go and have beer.
Okay.
I'm not drinking my stuff here. This is for strictly entertainment purposes for the mission.
Right, yes.
Is what I bought the fine alcohol for.
If we're gonna hang out, I'm gonna hang out with Gregor and browse a little bit.
I'm gonna bring back a pony keg.
Okay. We will break here for this week, and we'll pick up with you guys carousing at Tyok, and pick this up next week on your way to Vorito for the big ball.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Sounds fun. Thanks.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good
Have a
night.
good one. I will see you guys Wednesday at 6.
Awesome.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.